Hello friends, this is Chandrakant from Akulmac Technologies. Welcome to Top Brass. And let me also welcome my friend from London, Mr. Naval Gant. Naval, how's
Good,
the
good morning. Good morning, CK. What a great day it is today. And we've got a fantastic show for all of those who's coming into the SOTI Awards.
Yes, in fact, to many of our viewers, I would like to say that we have organized the Top Brass Speaker of the Year Award. So what Naval is trying to tell you, we want to name it SOTI Awards, which is incidentally one of the very popular puppet show in London. So when he heard about this particular award, Naval said, hey, when I was a kid, I used to watch SOTI show, and that is why he's saying SOTI Awards.
Well, a lot of people in the UK will know it as sooty, but it doesn't matter. SOTI, sooty, it's only a translation. It's only a word, isn't it? But yes, today we've got a really, really interesting show, and we're going to show you literally how to set up your speaking opportunity. Because a lot of people that I've seen over the last 3 months have rushed into this digital arena, jumped onto Zoom, and I'm not talking about young people, graduates, university students. I'm talking about established presenters, people that stand up in front of an audience of 4,000 or 5,000 people and have jumped onto the digital screen. And the interesting thing, I haven't seen many people do it really well. And that's quite sad because they need to realize it, and they're in a studio now. There's no feedback from the audience. Have you seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, as I call it, all these Zoom conferences and panelists and speakers and keynotes? You've seen any of that, CK? You can share with us?
So you're talking about the good, bad, and ugly example rolled into the digital arena? Is that your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So, when you are in a physical conference sitting in front of an audience of 100 or 500 people, then you know very well that you are connected mentally with some of them and you're not connected with others. So, and then you have to do some judgment that, whether you're making sense to a majority of the audience or not. So the feedback is instantly available to the speaker, and the smart ones really change their pitch. So they don't come with a predefined speech. They actually make it more dynamic. But that kind of feedback is not available in the digital arena, and that is where the problem is. Even the accomplished speakers are finding it difficult to have that kind of a crowd contact using digital media. So I think to answer,
yeah, you're absolutely right.
To answer your question,
go ahead. No, you're absolutely right.
To answer your question, holistically, good, bad, and ugly is not the feedback is not happening in true sense.
And the interesting thing is, we have to recognize we're humans. We weren't built digitally. We're not robots, unless you look at Thunderbirds or back to Sooty, the hand puppet. So we need to give our young people, our young challengers, some real simple advice just to set up their technical system. Because I don't know about you, I'm getting, when someone's even giving 90 seconds, you're focused on their face. You're really engaged in what they're listening to. And that's what we're asking young people to do. In 90 seconds, give me your message. Help me believe in you. It's actually less than singing a song, actually, because most songs are about 3 minutes long, twice as long. So it's 90 seconds of just you to the camera. Engage me, entertain me, make it exciting. Ask me questions so that I'm thinking as you're talking. And that is the essence of this competition. So the SOTI Award, the person that's going to win it is going to be the best of the best. And the interesting thing here is, going on the journey with us, this isn't about necessarily becoming the best speaker. It's about going on that journey. Because let me tell you now, I have seen loads and loads and loads of recruiters going online doing video interviews. And CK, you know as well as I do that as soon as you go live on a video interview, there's about 2 seconds. Do I trust this person? Do I like this person? Am I going to be bothered listening to this person? Bingo. 2 or 3 seconds maximum. Just like walking into a room when you're networking. You take a quick look around and you think, actually, that's a person I like to talk to. The way they stand, how they hold themselves, the way they're demonstrative, you know? Are they givers or are they closeted up like this? Like flowers on a wall that really you don't want to talk to. Now, we all make those decisions immediately. So let's try and get this technical setup right, because the first thing I would say we've got is this problem, isn't it? So when I look up like this and I'm looking at a light that's shining on me, because my face needs to be visible in this short 90 seconds, I can easily make it invisible by turning the light off. Watch this. If I can get to the light, there you go. How many people do we see that don't put light on their face? You know, I'm facing away from the windows quite deliberately because I've got a particular background. So therefore I need to create some artificial light, and that makes a massive difference. All of a sudden, you can see my ugly face. You know, I become visible to everybody. But how many people do we see, CK, that close off the visibility? You've got, you know, it's lovely and bright where you are. You know, you've got a smiley face, smiley appearance. People can immediately relate to that persona. Does that make sense? This is so simple, really.
Yes, Nevin. In fact, I would like to demonstrate what you're talking about. Like if I wear my glasses, they look so glary, and these are, very distracting. So when you are talking to people and you know very well that the feedback, like in the physical world, is not going to happen in the digital world. And if you put on your glasses like this, you are actually distracting your listener or your viewer or your interviewer, whoever is not the person on the other side. So I think the first thing is to get your appearance right and make sure that you have adequate light on your face, on your personality. You're able to have a visible, a good-looking personification of yourself. So I think what you're saying is makes a lot of sense.
And these are simple things, you know. And even when I looked up like that, you can see glare on my glasses. But I'm still wearing glasses. You can't see the glare. So these are really simple tips. But the thing is, you need to make the setup yours. So even when you're going on a Zoom conference and just part of the audience, sometimes you'll be asked to speak. Sometimes you'll be asked to turn your webcam on. Just make sure that this is the mode you're in. Really simple advice. So set the scene. Know where your camera is. You know, I can turn my camera off just by putting my finger over the top of it. You'd be surprised how many people don't get that. And did you notice how I came in and out there? You know? And I'm talking to the audience now, not you, CK, because you know why. You know, notice suddenly I become the invisible man. You know, here I am. Look, I can do it with this one as well. Because when you have a background like CK and I have, there's pixelation on the screen. There's not so much pixelation on yours, but we've done this deliberately, so there is pixelation on mine. You know, I can completely disappear as the invisible man, if you like. And if you hold certain things in front of your face, it gets quite scary, believe you me, but we're not going to go there today. Try it yourself. You'll have some fun. You can even do a TikTok on it, if you like. I'm sure your friends will enjoy it. But set the background. What backgrounds have you seen, CK, over the last, 3 months? And I'm talking about not the good ones, but where have you seen people sit on a video conference?
Well, many people don't have any idea of how in the digital world they are getting perceived, because when they are transmitting using a video camera. So I think I've seen very, very horrible backgrounds. I've seen, some sort of a door, half wall, or a curtain floating around, and maybe a cup of coffee, which is not different. It actually, when somebody is drinking coffee, it just disappears, because it's all about making your background, which is appealing. And also, like you were talking about, is you disappear and all that. I think it's all function of light saturation. So make sure that when people are making their videos or getting into conference calls, make a nice appealing background, whether it is virtual background or real, but the background has to be really appealing. At the same time, the light, which is the illumination factor in a video, has to be properly saturated. So that is the word that I want to use. It is not a technical word. It's the amount of light which is reflecting your surroundings. So the saturation has to be right. Make sure that you don't disappear, because the light is literally off the radar of your video camera. So make sure that the light setup is in tune with your capacity of your video camera. So if you're using very high-end video camera, then you can have a lesser light, because the video camera can adjust to that less light. But if you have a normal webcam, then you have to have a more light so that you have a better saturation of your surroundings. So I think this is a simple thing. A little bit of experimentation is required for all the people who are doing this, whether they are senior or first timers, or basically rookies in this space. But I think it's just a matter of spending 10 minutes of your time to see that your light saturation, your background, and yourself looks good in a video.
You're absolutely right. And I don't know whether you noticed, but I was changing my background several times there as you were speaking. So it can show people, perhaps the good, the bad, and the ugly of backgrounds. Those were, for anyone that was watching, a picture of me now, a picture of me when I was quite young, about 6 years old. And we're back to normal. We're in the same city. So you can do lots of things with backgrounds. But some of the horror stories, because the good stuff we can talk about easily, clarity of background. Neither of our backgrounds are moving. There's no distraction. The only moving part is you or me. The rest of it is static. There's no lights turning on and off. This is not like a website that's trying to entice you and entertain you and engage you. The background is just there, actually just to set a bit of a scene. So a bit like a newsroom, if you like. It's not moving. You can't see any moving parts, because actually the person we want to be talking to is you. No one else. We don't want to see that guy that's turning the curtains in the top left-hand corner over there, and what's he watching? Oh, I like that TV program. We're not interested in that. We're actually interested in the person in front of us. And notice, you need to be center stage. This is your opportunity to shine. So now we've got some of the technical bits, and I'll just mention one horror story. Nasal hair. I have seen so much nasal hair on Zoom over the last 3 months. And it's not from this, it's from this. It's people doing this, We don't really want to see, your nasal hair, thank you very much. However nicely trimmed it is, and enticing it is, I actually have no interest in nasal hair. I haven't got that fetish. We want to see you. We want to see you excited and entertaining me for 90 seconds. Because the SOTI Awards is 90 seconds. Your video interview for your next job won't be more than 90 seconds. Because frankly, in 10 seconds, they've made their mind up. This is now your CV, be honest. And that's where we need to be moving to. So think about your background. Don't do it in the kitchen with the pots and pans and the kettle going on and off, or the coffee machine, turning on and off. Do it somewhere where it's relaxing. I mean, even do it where there's some birds singing. And if you get the right time of day, you've got a lovely little background. Just think of your setting, We're asking you to focus on 90 seconds. Don't give us something that we can be distracted by. So this is the good, the bad, and the ugly of what we've been sharing with you.
Absolutely. Never.
Key thing.
Sorry, Neil.
No, go ahead.
So what I was trying to add to what you just said is that I think it's important for the candidates is to make sure that they have eye contact with the camera, because they will be like to say that we are not interested in nasal hair, but sometimes they're looking down because they're looking at themselves, or sometimes they're looking on the side. But the important thing is the way it is going in video is actually going your front face. So you have to know where your camera is, and you have eye contact with the camera, so that when the people are watching, and that is a little trick that everybody who's in the media business has to go through. It's very difficult to talk to no man. In our case, when we are talking on a Zoom or some sort of an online conferencing tool, we at least see the other side in a small window. But imagine people who are in the media business, like news readers, they talk to you, but on their side, they have this wretched camera. So it is it's a very difficult thing to learn. So I think it's easier for this platform, but in the real world, it's even more difficult. So I think people have to know where the camera is and maintain eye contact with that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's another bit of advice that we're giving today. Go and now, don't necessarily listen to the news. Just watch a good newsreader. There are some really great newsreaders around the world, and there are some not so great ones. And the good thing is, you've probably got about 500 or 600 channels that you can flick through and find out who's talking about the news. It used to be the case that the BBC World News used to be the perfect way to do it. But now that clearly is not what we want. We want people that are more authentic, If you've got a dialect, don't worry about the dialect. If you don't think you're really good at speaking English, well, let me give you a bit of a clue. It's a secret, by the way. The more you practice, the better you get. Did I make sure that was silent? Because we don't want to tell everybody this. The right practice makes perfect. And that's the point. Practice by watching what people do. You don't have to copy them, because the likelihood is you won't be able to, because that's not you. It's not your personality. It's not who you are. But look at what they do and how they say it. Just a little look over here and a little raise of the eyebrows. That is all intrigue, because you're drawing people in to what you're saying. When you lower your voice for a particular issue, people will listen. If you raise your voice for another issue, notice the difference in tone. I almost said exactly the same words. So this is about having fun, okay? Because it's a competition and putting you amongst your equals in the country. So come on board, get involved with us on the SOTI Awards. Come on the journey, because it should be exciting. The nice thing is you will learn to speak English much better than you currently do today, just by taking a little bit of advice and going and doing it. Whatever you do, don't just lock this video away and keep watching this video. That's just one small part of what you should be doing. You need to be looking at other experiences out there. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You can go and laugh now at people that are not very good. You can look at why actors are so good. Your favorite actor, why is he your favorite actor? Because they bring you into the conversation. You're physically there. It's entertaining. It's inclusion, And we know all this. And the other thing is, once you start to learn how to do this, believe you me, you're on a journey to really good leadership. you become someone that everyone wants to talk to. You can also help other people improve what they do. And it's simple. So come on, sign up, join the SOTI Awards, and tune in next week where we'll give you some more advice on a Wednesday. So it's SOTI Wednesday. Is it SOTI Wednesday?
Yes. Yes, we can call it SOTI Wednesday. And in fact, I would like to summarize our discussion today because most of the contestants will be going through this, how they must be running this question in their mind that how they start. So the starting point really for making a video is, number one, make sure that you have a right background and you look presentable enough. So I think that subject, how to be looking more presentable, we will be covering in the next SOTI Wednesday. But for today, the technical knowledge is make sure that you have a right background and make sure you have the right saturation of light on that background and on yourself. And the third thing is learn how to speak to audience through the camera. So always maintain eye contact with the camera. So, and in fact, a lot of people are participating and applying. So I think this is just one tip. We will come back with Neville from London and present you a new set of tip next Wednesday. So thank you, Neville.
Fantastic. Fantastic, CK. And as you know, I was having fun joining in, practically showing them exactly what you were summarising. You know, the good, the bad and the ugly. It's good news. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you next Wednesday for SOTI Wednesday. But obviously, I'll see you tomorrow, CK.
See you tomorrow, Neville. Have a good day. Bye-bye.